Do they say measure twice, cut once? I think I've heard that somewhere. Clearly when I put up that shelf there, I had an expectation that the lathe here would fit and that shelf would be out of the way. It isn't. I can't remember back that far whether it was a function of putting these raising blocks, which in my case are just solid blocks of aluminium. And as I've said somewhere else, I sold on my screw jacks, relying on just shimming one corner, having got the basic lathe bench stand leveled. Anyway, so that pulley was rubbing. Now what I've got is end play. Oh, you won't be able to see it there, but when it's spinning you might be able to see it. Some end play in the and it's interesting because you'll see the well, maybe it can't at the frequency that it's running, but it just wobbles backwards and forwards a little bit, taking up that end plate. It might be that that is a good thing for the bushes. Put some oil in, a bit of that side to side movement might help that, but everything's running quite sweetly now. Even the clutch works. Hold on, stop it there. So you've got the clutch working there, and as you pull the clutch in, it starts up again, and the remote pod is working fine, and it's suggesting I've got a speed of or RPM of 328 from my Hall effect sensor, picking up from a magnet attached to the side of the bull wheel there. That seems to pick that up okay. So I guess another aspect is just to look at my guarding, which this came without any guarding, and so I've fabricated a couple of simple piece of sheet steel out of computer cases. I need to see if that is going to be adequate for me, and I'm going to bridge over that gap with something. There we go. Turn that off, and that's the variable frequency drive. And somebody said something about the capacitors. I'm going to switch off the inverter. It's off, but the capacitors in it are big enough to keep the inverter showing something. Remember, I switched it off live on video, and it took that long before it actually died, as it were. So that inverter would absorb quite a lot of, let's call it, what was it called, brownouts, brief interruptions in supply, and still continue to function, I'm assuming. There we go. And so there is the guarding. That appears to protect from casually being caught by spinning belts. And I've left a bit of an overhang there, which tends to protect that bit, which is well out of the way. There's nothing to reach to over there. Any reaching might be done above that. I know there's a chuck there, that's not best. Anyway, there's an attempt at a little bit of safety.